Hi, Jimmy Boyd for the BetFirms.com preview of the South Carolina LSU football game. The number 3 South Carolina Gamecocks travel to face the number 9 LSU Tigers in one of the biggest SEC games you will see all season. This contest will be nationally televised on ESPN at 8 p.m. Eastern Saturday night for all to witness. LSU has won all 4 meetings with South Carolina since the turn of the century. That includes a 24-17 road victory in their most recent meeting in 2008. The oddsmakers have installed LSU as a 2.5-point home favorite over South Carolina with a total set at 40.5. The Tigers are 5-1 overall and 1-1 in the SEC. They came into the season with national title hopes, and even with their 6-14 loss at Florida last Saturday, they still control their own destiny in the SEC West. If they win out, they'll be playing the SEC title game. A win there would almost surely get them in the BCS championship. LSU took a 6-0 lead into halftime on the Gators, but the defense simply could not carry the offense for 4 quarters. Florida took the lead for good on a 12-yard touchdown from Mike Gillislee in the third quarter, and he added another 12-yard scoring run in the fourth. The Tigers were outgained 200-237 in a defensive battle. The difference in this game were 3 uncharacteristic LSU turnovers. They fumbled twice, and quarterback Zach Mettenberger was picked off once while going 11 of 25 for 158 yards passing. Spencer Ware was the team's leading rusher with 21 yards on 8 carries as the Tigers were held to 42 yards on 25 attempts for the game. Odell Beckham Jr. led all receivers with 4 grabs for 78 yards in the loss. The Tigers ranked 4th in the country in total defense at 224 yards per game allowed, allowing 101 yards on the ground and 123.3 through the air. They are just 76th in total offense, though, at 394 per game, including 94th in passing offense at 195.7 yards per game. Mettenberger just hasn't lived up to the expectations, completing 62% of his passes for 1,174 yards with 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Kenny Hilliard leads all rushers with 382 yards and 6 scores. Beckham Jr. has a team-high 20 receptions for 364 yards and 2 touchdowns. No team in the entire country looked more impressive than the Gamecocks last weekend. Now they're 6-0 and 4-0 in the SEC. They cruised to a 35-7 home victory over the Georgia Bulldogs to really put their name in the national title discussion. Their reward? A visit to Tiger Stadium for a showdown with the hungry LSU team Saturday. South Carolina stormed out to a 21-0 lead over Georgia last weekend with only 5 minutes and 18 seconds left in the first quarter. Ace Sanders scored on a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown, which made it a 3-score game, and the Bulldogs would never recover. The Gamecocks led 35-0 before finally allowing Georgia to get on the board with only a minute 55 left to play. The defense played tremendous once again, limiting the Bulldogs to just 224 yards. Connor Shaw was efficient, completing 6 of 10 passes for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. Marcus Lattimore rushed for 109 yards and a score on 24 carries, while Shaw added 78 yards and a touchdown on the ground. The Gamecocks ranked 12th in the country in total defense, 278 yards a game, including 10th against the run at 83.8 yards a game. They are 62nd in total offense, 406 yards per game, behind a balanced attack that averages 181.5 yards on the ground and 224.7 through the air. Shaw is completing 75.7% of his passes for 733 yards with 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions this season. Lattimore has rushed for 549 yards and 9 scores. Demir Bird is their big play receiver with 10 catches for 288 yards and 2 scores, while averaging 28.8 yards per catch. Here are some betting trends to consider before putting any money down on this game. The Gamecocks are 7-0 ATS in their last 7 games following a straight-up win. The Tigers are 11-4 ATS in their last 15 games after allowing less than 20 points in their previous game. The under is 5-1 in the Gamecocks' last 6 versus a team with a winning record, and the under is 9-3 in Tigers' last 13 games in October.